What up, 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 what up? It's your boy Unkasa. You tuning in for another episode of Unkasa True Hip Hop Stories. I am Unkasa. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you for your likes, subscribes, and your comments. Thank you for the feedback on the HUD 6 episode. A lot of people was requesting a story about my best friend, the great late Huddy 6, and I gave y'all that. Um Today is episode 17, and this is a little different. You see, I got on my Rich Porter hat, so we're gonna be talking about the Reagan era, when I was coming up, when I was young, and how the streets of New York and how it was sounding and smelling and everything. So, y'all know the routine. If your blunt's rolled up, light up. If you're not rolled up yet and you're halfway through your roll up, I'm gonna give you a couple of seconds, and you know what it is after that. So I'm gonna give y'all a few seconds to roll y'all blunts. Anybody out there need a light? Come on, pull a blunt, nigga. All right, we're gonna get into it. So, I was born June 18th, 1979. St. Luke's Women Hospital. Um, Summertime. My mom said it was a hot ass day. I think I think my mom's had to get cut with me too. And I was born around the time when hip hop was really starting. So as I'm getting older, from like the age, just as from being a toddler to about ages 5, 6, or 7, hip hop and R&B was played in my house frequently. I mean, all day, all night. Shout out to my peoples at Socially Rich for the tees. Y'all got any merch y'all want to send me? Send it, and I definitely will. I just want to plug that real quick. Socially Rich. Shout out to Socially Rich. So, like I was saying, I grew up in the. I was born 1979, June 18th. I grew up in the 80s, and my house was nothing but music, from R&B to Motown to rap. And my mom's was a hustler. My pops was too. My mom's and my pops was drug dealers when I was growing up. So a lot of stuff I learned fast, and I wasn't deprived of too much when I was little. When I was little, my mom's did a lot of things for me, from buying me clothing to video games to go karts. My mom's made sure her kids stayed fly. My mom's made sure her house was always clean. Had me young at 17, so my mom's was basically still a kid growing up when she had us. So like I said, my mom's and pops was drug dealers and running around Harlem with some of the top hustlers, from the Bat Rosses, the Car Spice, the Wild Owls, the LAs, the Rich Porters, and so on and so on, Von Zips, and I grew up seeing a lot, grew up watching a lot, grew up hearing a lot, and it seemed like R&B and hip hop music was the soundtrack to the streets, cause at this time I'm growing up in the 80s, and Harlem was nothing like it is. It was nowhere near gentrified. Um, it was a lot of abandoned buildings. It was very dark. It was kind of gloomy, but it was bright. It was vibrant. It was the 80s. It was a lot going on. Um, that crack shit stuff I seen when crack first hit. I was old enough to know and realize when crack first hit New York. Like, not when it first hit, but when that crack shit started getting popping in the 80s, I seen motherfuckers that was the prettiest, baddest bitches turn to zombies. The top drug dealer nigga turned to a bum ass fiend nigga. Word. I seen when that crack shit hit, and especially when it hit Harlem. My mom's didn't sell crack. Or my pops. My mom sell cocaine and little glass brown glass jars with black tops on them. My mom's used to have 50s and hundreds of coke. So when I was little, I used to see a lot of shit that I wasn't supposed to see. Like my mom's used to have these parties, and I used to call them light parties, cause every time she would have one of these parties, she would use a different color light bulb. See, they would use like red lights, blue lights, green lights. The party would always be dim, and I would just be, either peeking out my room or sitting on the carpet somewhere in the corner, and I'm watching people sniff coke, sell coke, party, and I'm watching this shit. I'm absorbing all this shit young, knowing what Gucci is, knowing what MCM is, knowing what Fila is, knowing what a rope chain is, knowing what a nugget ring is. Like at 5, 6, 7 years old, knowing what that shit is and knowing the slang or what they use in the streets and eating the food drug dealers is eating and being in places where drug dealers be at a young age, because my mom's was young. My mom's had me at 17, so I grew up with my moms. My mom's is 17 years older than me. So that means I basically grew up with my moms, and I grew up in the times of the 80s and the Reagan era when that crack shit was fucking families up. Like I said, rap and R&B and a lot of shit was like the soundtracks of the streets, and that's how I became who I am today, as far as being a rapper and music, because that shit was embedded in me. I heard hip hop and R&B from the time I woke up to the time I went to sleep every day. Like I said, my mom was getting to the fucking bag when she was young, so she was going to the record store like every day. She would go and buy 50 or 60 albums, whatever's out, old shit, new shit. She would just go get it. So my house was always the party house, especially on a Friday or Saturday. My mom's would have a few people come over. Like I said, they would put one of them colorful lights up. My kitchen had the beads that make mad noise, so I could like the velvet black African pictures with the people with the afros on the velvet and all that. Like I grew up on a real soulful / hip hop house, so it was a time where my mom's and pops was both selling drugs at the same time, and my pops had the cocaine and he had the weed, cause my pop side of the family is from the islands, Venezuela, West Indies. I got West Indian roots. So my pops was always getting the most fires weed in the 70s and 80s, and the most fires cocaine. So my mom's and my pops was kind of like Bonnie and Clyde until they start bumping heads and shit. So one day, I remember my pops, my uncle, wasn't my Uncle Bill? I think it was my Uncle Bill, this guy named Abdul Latif, and this guy named Alvin. Those was like the people that my pops hung out with. And I remember we was in my mom's bedroom, and they was all sitting on the bed in little chairs and shit crates, and they was bagging up the weed in the little yellow manila envelopes and shit. And I'm sitting there getting contact and how they smoking weed, and they just ain't drinking Guinness Stouts and Grandma Gay, and they just having a grand old time. And I'm sitting there watching this shit like, oh, that's reefer? Oh, so that's what they call reefer. Oh, that's cocaine. That's $100 bill. That's a nugget ring. That's a chain. And I'm learning this shit. And it's just like being around them, they was teaching me shit without actually teaching me shit, because I was so observant. When I was young, all I wanted to do was play with toys, watch music videos, shit like that, and just watch people. I was an observer. I wasn't really a talker. I would sit back and observe and learn shit. So one day, like I said, they was bagging up the weed, And they had finished bagging up, and it was time for them to leave. And my pops told my moms, "I'll be back later. I'm taking little Tone with me." Cause I'm named after my pop. My pop's name is Anthony. My name is Antonio, so they would call me Tone. So he was like, "I'm taking little Tone with me." So we all go downstairs. Me and my pop's friends. I gotta be about 6 or 7, and we get in a car. I think it was a Saab at the time, Volvo or Saab, and we all get in the car. And I know we rode down to like Hunt 16th. I lived on Hunt 35th between 7th and 8th at the time, building 230. So we might have went down to like Hunt 16th. I remember the car stopped, and my pops told me to lift up my shirt. And I lift up my shirt, and he taped work to me. He taped weed and cocaine to me, taped it to me. Went around my body like 3 times with the tape, made my shirt look flat, let me out the car, sent me in a building. So I was like, he was like, "Yo, you gonna see your godfather as soon as you walk in the building." So I'm probably like I said, 6 or 7. I walk in the building. I'm not nervous because I don't know what the fuck is really going on. All I know is my pops, whatever they was bagging up, he strapped to me and sent me in a building. Seen my god pops. He took this shit off me, gave it to a girl. She went upstairs. She came back down with some money in like a black bag. They taped that shit to me and sent me out the building. So my pops put me back in the car, take the money off of me. I think he took me to Wendy's. I ate food, fell asleep by that time. By the time I wake up, I'm back at the house in my bed. So I wake up, and my mom's is in the room with one of her friends, Jackie, from across the street at the time. And they sitting there drinking Calvin Coolers, smoking cigarettes. And I get up, I say, "Hi, Jackie." And she say, "Hey, Tone." And she's like, "You woke up?" The music, she said, "Let me turn this music down," because my mom's had the music up kind of loud. So I woke up, and she asked me, she was like, "Yo, where you and your father went?" I was like, "I don't know, Mommy. I know we went down to like Hunt 16th, down to where we used to always go at with Auntie, and he sent me in a building with stuff taped to me." And she said, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, Daddy taped it to me. Take the drugs to me, sent me in a building. God Daddy took it off me, gave it to a girl. She came down with money. They taped it to me and sent me back to Daddy." So my mom's said, "Wait till this motherfucker get in this house. I know he have you fucking transporting drugs." So I'm like, transporting drugs? I'm little. I'm thinking, and all my moms and her friends, like, "That motherfucker dead wrong. You should fuck him up, gal. As soon as that motherfucker come in, you should fuck him up." So my pops walked in the crib. Probably like an hour later, I'm sitting there playing with my He-Man men. My mom's coming. When he come in, my mom smacked the shit out of him. Boom. "He told me what you had him doing. Don't ever fucking do that again." My pops just laughing and laughing, and like the smack ain't even fucking phase him and shit. So my she started laughing, and Jackson, he was like, "You a motherfucker. You don't have your son doing that shit." So probably at the age 6 or 7, I did my first drug transaction. Now, around this time, I think my Aunt Kathy lose her apartment, and they have to come live with us. But at this time, my mom's got a 1-bedroom apartment, and my Aunt Kathy also had her sister Liz, her son Matthew, and her son Shahi, and her boyfriend. They all moved in a 1-bedroom apartment with me, my mom's, and my little sister. My mom's was pregnant with my little brother Dougie at the time. So it's me, my mom's, my little sister, my grandfather, my Aunt Kathy, my Aunt Liz, my cousin Shahi, my Uncle Shahi, and my Uncle Matthew, and my grandfather. We all in one apartment. One little ass apartment. It's sleeping bags everywhere. Um, my grandfather, he was a pimp and a drug dealer, but it got like his time had passed to where he started actually using the drugs that he was selling. So he had fell victim to the game, so he didn't really have nowhere to go. So he living there with us. So it was just like it went from just me, my moms, and my sister to me, my moms, my grandfather, my aunts, my cousins, and all that, and we all in one crib. And my mom's is pregnant with my little brother at the time. So I'm just like, damn, ain't no space in here. That's all I'm thinking. I remember hearing my mom was talking to my aunt one day, telling my aunt like, I'm not selling that shit no more. I'm done with that. Everybody dying and getting locked up and shit like that. I ain't doing that shit. I ain't built for this shit no more. I remember the words she was saying. I was just like, I ain't really understand it until a nigga stopped getting all the shit that I'm used to getting. I might get one pair of sneakers this week when I was used to getting two or three. I might get one toy instead of getting 6, 7 toys, shit like that. Like I seen the shift in my mom's financial stability when she stopped selling drugs. Times was getting rough. It was getting to a point to where just before my aunts and them moved in, my mom's would send me to this guy that owned this fish market named Fishman Eddie. God bless his soul. He died years ago when I was a little kid. And she used to send me with a note saying that um she don't got no money right now. Could he give us some food until maybe 2 days later? And my mom's was known for getting money, so her credit was good in the street. So it was just like fucked up for us for a minute. It was a few times we had to go to Fishman Eddie and get food from him and shit. But maybe a year into my aunts and them staying with my moms, they got into it. My moms kicked them out. They moved upstairs to this lady named Della. We called her grandma. She had mad cats. She used to have like 30 cats in her crib. They wound up moving there. Probably just before my little brother, like a little after my little brother Dougie was born, we moved with my grandma's uptown. And that was kind of like heartbreaking for me because when we moved, we ain't really take shit but my clothes. My mom's left all my toys, my bikes, go-karts, everything. She left basically everything and just moved with my grandmother. So that was like the transition was kind of fucked up because I'm like, damn. I'm leaving all my friends. I'm about to move uptown. I ain't been up there since I only go up there on the weekends when my mom's want to party, so my grandmother keep me. I don't really fuck with or know people up there, so that's when we moved uptown. I went to PS92. That shit is located on 134th between 7th and 8th. I went to school with Darnell Porter. I remember when they kidnapped Darnell because he stopped coming to school. And then I was thinking he just stopped going to school or his mom's transferring him to somewhere else. But I remember my mom's was in the living room talking to her friend Jackie, and she was like, that boy that go to Tony and Taiwan school got kidnapped. They kidnapped Rich little brother. So I'm like, oh shit. So I asked my mother, what's kidnapping? So my mom's just like, that's when somebody take you away from your parents without their consent. So I was just like, wow. So I was like, damn, that's what happened to Darnell? Damn, somebody kidnapped him? Somebody took him away from his mommy? This is what I'm thinking as a little kid. So I was like, damn. And I, like I said, I was very observant, so I used to always be eavesdropping, and it was like, he was getting kidnapped for drugs, and I'm like, damn. I didn't understand it. I knew what everything was, but I didn't understand it because at a young age, drugs traumatized me because I remember my mom used to let me go across the street to one of my friends' crib, and his mom's was addicted to crack. And I remember she had to be about 9 months pregnant. She looked like she was about to have a baby any day. And I remember I spent the night with them. And I think my man was asleep. And I looked in the kitchen. I woke up and I looked in the kitchen. His mom's was in the kitchen, pregnant, with a big ass stomach, kneeled over the stove using the flame from the stove to light the crack pipe. And I was like, knowing that you ain't supposed to be smoking while you pregnant. And you definitely ain't supposed to be smoking that shit. So I start to see all my mom's pretty friends started looking ugly. All the pretty women that I used to have crushes on, little dick get hard when I see them, and nails and toes done, and they getting their hair done. They started having on skellies, big ass shirts. They was out there looking bad, fingernails all fucked up. I was like, yo, what the fuck is this drugs? What the fuck is going on out here? Then I start observing the commercials that they was playing on TV, and they was like real gothic and grim. Commercials back in the day was real dark, and they used to have real scary ass crack war on drug commercial. This is around the time when Nancy Reagan had the Just Say No campaign, and these commercials used to come on with big ass crack pipes, and you seeing people turning to skeletons and shit like that. That shit used to be scary because I used to sit up late night and watch movies, and that's when them commercials come on late night when shit, you know what I'm saying? So that shit used to scare me. So I was just like, damn, I ain't never using that shit. I ain't gonna never, you know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I seen the crack fuck Willie niggas up, bad bitches up like that. Like, quick, gone. I lived on 135th between 7th and 8th. It was probably only like six functional buildings out of like 20 buildings on the whole block. My building, my aunt Lois, and my cousin Latrell, Denaja, and Kendall, they lived in 222. They had big ass holes in the ceiling, rats, all that. Like, shit used to, like, because you'll have a functional building next to a condemned building with rats, so all that shit used to eat through the walls and through the basement. Shit used to be rough. Like, I seen a rough ass life. I seen glamour shit because my moms and my pops was getting money, but when my moms stopped selling drugs and my pops been left, it was just like shit was shaky. My aunts moved in, shit got crowded, and it was just like I started seeing, I started understanding harsh life at a real fucking young age. So, 1986, my little brother was born. Maybe 87, 88, we moved uptown. By this time, like I said, my pops was gone. My mom stopped hustling. We moved with my grandmother up the hill on 151st between Amsterdam and Broadway, building 558, apartment 5, the second floor. And life came a little easy. My grandmother used to my grandmother was like a home attendant, so she used to take care of rich white people. So my first polos and Tommies and shit like that came from hand me downs from white people. Like she used to bring just bags full of fucking brand new clothes. It used to be like brand. I'm like, where you get this from, grandma? She'd be like, um, Miss Heartburn or whoever the Jewish lady she worked for gave it to y'all. And Christmas time, toys and brand new toys in a box, and like them white, like, I know it's racism in this world, but my grandmother used to work for some good white folks, and they took care of her bonuses, trips, watches, money, furs. They gave my grandmother the world. Anything that, like, they wouldn't give it to their family member, they would give it to my grandmother. So, like I said, polos and Eddie Bowers coming from white people wearing that shit one time and just giving it away. So when we moved to 51st, this was like the invasion of the Dominican invasion. This is when Dominicans, like, when they came, they came by like the thousands, because I didn't even know what Dominicans was, because they had skin like mine. The only thing that how I realized what Dominicans was, because they spoke Spanish. Because the first day, me outside on my block, the first person that spoke to me was one of my best friends named Jesse. We call him Paco, but at this time we used to call him Jesse. His real name is Jesse. So he used to be on the block fixing his bike, no t-shirt on him, and he used to be like, "Yo, come chill, come chill with me, I'm meet this guy, this is this guy named, this is such and such, this is such and such." And then I think his mom's came downstairs and she was speaking Spanish to him, and he said something back to her Spanish. So I said, "Yo, you speak Spanish? Ain't you black?" He said, "Yeah, I'm black, but I'm Dominican. We speak Spanish." He said, "I'm no different from you, but I just speak Spanish." So I'm like, wow. So he teaching me little Spanish stuff. I'm going to this house. He teaching me Spanish food, Spanish words. They watch Telemundo. Only thing you understand on Telemundo, only thing I understand was "Bye, man," and the deodorant commercial. There'd be a deodorant commercial. Only thing in English, "Bye, man," and so that's when my transition from living down the hill, downtown, to moving uptown to the Dominican invasion. Now, by this time, I know what drugs is. I know what drug dealers is. I know what crack is, heroin, smoke, dope, baggies. I know the scale, money, slang, lingo. I know everything. People used to come to my block to buy cocaine, and when they come to the block, it'll be 50 Dominicans trying to get the one customer. So when they come, it sounds like it's a riot. They be like, "Hey, no, Poppy. You got 50 Dominicans trying to go to one customer." And they would go to this one building that was on my block that I wound up hustling. My first building I started hustling from was 555 on my block. We call it the Triple Nickel. Yo, this is when you could not walk down any block on Broadway without a Dominican person trying to holler at you to buy cocaine. And I'm like, damn, these people doing it on a bigger scale, or it's just more crazy. Like, this is the wave. This is when I start to realize drugs kind of run the world, because I'm seeing the Dominicans, they was blunt with this. They'd be coming out they car. People will come. You'll see they'll give a nigga a whole brick of cocaine. Niggas be in the building breaking down crack, and I'm like, yo, what the fuck? That's why I was like, oh shit. I'm thinking we moving away from the drugs. It's more. And by the abundance, like I said, all night, 24-hour crack spots, 24-hour coke spots, kilos, shoot, like the shootings was crazy. When I was growing up in the 80s and 90s, it was fucking buck wild. You couldn't walk down the certain blocks. Like Hum 40th, you couldn't walk down that block. Hum 51st between Amsterdam and Broadway, Hum 48th between Amsterdam and Broadway, you couldn't walk down them blocks. You could not just be posted up on a nigga block. You'll get your fucking head knocked the fuck off your shoulders. And I'm from a place where we have a famous park, Carmenville Playgrounds. It's called the Battlegrounds. Lou Alcindor them played in there. You know what I'm saying? The greats, man, Earl Manigault. So I grew up around ball players and drug dealers and niggas that want the rap. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I got really embedded in this music shit by being inspired from the street shit. Seeing drug dealers and Dominicans hustling and big fancy cars and big money and just a lavish life, like everything around me. My friends' families was drug dealers. My best friend, mom's was a hustler, so it was like it was no escaping that shit in the 80s and 90s. And the music that was out was inspiring the shit that was going on. Eric B. and Rakim, Public Enemy, BDP. That shit was inspiring the drug dealers to do what they was doing. Them stories was grim. The streets was grim. It was dark, but it was also shiny at the same time. Out like Harlem was abandoned, buildings on fire, big ass lots of just nothing but gravel. Like I'm painting a picture like I was there in the 80s and 90s before all this gentrification shit. I remember when shit was dirt lots, shit what didn't exist, none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's what this episode is basically on. I know I usually give y'all the rap story, but I have to give y'all in depth of what Harlem, New York looked like. New York, period. You know, you had 100 fucking stray dogs running the streets. Wow, stray dogs. Big ass German shepherds that'll bite the shit up. Man, the streets was not safe. It was crazy out. And police was corrupt. I used to see police get paid off in my building by Dominicans. I'd come out my door, they'd be roughing them up. You'll see the Dominican take money out their pocket, give it to them, and they tell them niggas, we'll be back this same time next week and all that. I seen that shit for real. I seen Dominicans paying off police. I seen police holding drugs for niggas. Like, I'm from the block of 151 between Amsterdam and Broadway. That's the dirty 30. I seen these niggas do niggas filthy when I was coming up. Nick, come on, Nick. You would think some of these police was drug dealers where I was from. But it's so much y'all can learn from this platform, because I'm going to take y'all in depth and give y'all stories about how shit used to be when I was coming up as a youngster. And it's totally different. You know, it was morals, respect, it was dignity, it was integrity. Niggas was real hustlers. It was hustler crews. They had Harlem Week at 125th at the State Building. And they had WBLS trucks and had basketball games on 139th at the park on Lenox, between 7th and Lenox. Niggas Harlem used to be lit. They used to have the Jazzmobile down at Grant's Tomb. Like, it was lit. Like, it was lit. Mark 25 was open. It was popping. Like, it was popping. If you from Harlem and you my age, I'm 40. I was born in 79. They had it's equivalent to a chopped cheese, but it was called a pudgy burger. Ask your moms about a pudgy burger. Ask your pops about your uncle, your grandmother about a pudgy burger from Mom's Restaurant right there on 135th and 7th. Shout out to my man Dev Gandhi. His mom's had a little penny candy store with the cookies and the candies in the jar, and you buy bags of shit in the black and the brown paper bag and spend $1 and get a whole bunch of shit. That's the era I'm from. You know what I'm saying? I remember my mom's this little young guy used to get money. His name was Al, little Wild Al. He used to be at my mom's crib all the time. Young big ass putting big ass rope chains on my neck. And I remember I woke up one morning going to go to school, and my mom's was in the living room ironing my clothes, ironing one of my Latigra shirts, and I'm like, "Mommy, why you crying?" She was crying, and she was like, "Al got killed last night," and that's the first time I ever heard about somebody getting killed. And I'm like, killed? I was like, what's that, mommy? She like, he dead. He not coming back. He gone forever. And I was just like, wow. And all I can just think about is the stuff he used to tell me, and he let me play around with his money and his jewelry and his big ass Kango hats. And um he used to, when he come to the, when you can hear him coming up the stairs in my apartment building, because he used to be singing this song, potatoes, potatoes, ham and eggs and toast. Oh, potatoes, potatoes, ham and eggs and toast, oh, potatoes. Like, used to hear this nigga singing. I should be like, yo, mom, Al coming. She said, you hear that motherfucker, right? He's singing that fucking song. Potatoes, potatoes, scrambled eggs and toast. That's all he used to sing. And then he used to be like, yo, what up? He used to, when he come in the crib, he used to throw me right up on the shoulders, put his chain on me, and you tell my mom to play that make it clap. That is, boom, 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 boom. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I went to school with Darnell Porter. You know what I'm saying? And after we found out, like after when it really got out what happened to him, shit was fucked up. Like that shit, yeah, like the school wasn't the same after Darnell left. Like Darnell was a type, if the icy man come around, he gonna pull out $100 bill and buy damn near the whole fucking play yard, whoever out in the playground in the yard in the school of icy. You know what I'm saying? Like shit was real. Like like my life. Like God put me on this earth, and He put me around shit that y'all read and hear about on TV. But I actually was there for that shit. You know what I'm saying? I've seen a lot of shit, and that's just a little glimpse into my life and shit. You know what I'm saying? I went through some shit out here. I went, like, growing up. You know, my pops fell victim to the crack shit. I remember one time my pops, um, he was down bad. He was, you know, people still respecting him for what the game he put down in the streets, but he started fucking with that shit, and he started stealing. He would go to the department stores like Stearns and shit like that, and go steal designer drawers, and then go to Broadway and sell them to the Dominicans. So one day, it was on my sister's birthday. I'll never forget this. I ain't seen him in a while. He comes to my grandmother's house to come see me. He like, what you doing? He said, yeah, I'm about to go shopping for your sister's birthday. Come with me. So I'm like, all right, bet. So we go all the way, take a long ass train ride out to Queens. Go to Queens. We go to this apartment store. He had a little book bag. And my pops dressed preppy. You know, fitted jeans back in the 80s, penny loafers, socks, all gals, shit like that. That's how he dressed. So he dressing preppy. He going to the joints. But this motherfucker taking me to the department store to steal. So this nigga stealing shit. He's stealing all the Tommy drawers and all this shit. You know, everything that's Tommy Hilfiger drawers and Calvin Klein. This nigga stealing them shits by the packs, taking whole racks, putting them shits in the bag, whole racks. So I'm peeping and shit. I'm like, what the fuck is this nigga doing? So this nigga takes the book bag that he steal, said, here, take this bag and go walk out. I'll meet you outside. So I'm like, what? I had to be about 12, 13. So he's like, just take the bag, go ahead. He said, I'm going to pay for it. I know people and I'm good. Told me some shit like that. So I goes to walk towards the door. Security guard like, So they take me to the back and was like, who was that guy you was with? And I was like, that's my father. And he was like, we know you ain't down. We. This guy came in here before. He ain't supposed to be in here. He hit us before. So I'm like, I don't know nothing about what he got going on. You know what I'm saying? They was like, we know because we kicked your father out of here before. So I'm just like, so what y'all gonna do to me? He's like, where do you live? I'm like in Harlem. So he's like, you know, do you got a phone number? I said, yeah, I know my phone number. So he like, what's your phone number? So I'm like 212-690-7889. That's my grandmother's house. My mom's my grandmother there. So they basically called my grandmother. My mom's told them what my pops had did. So they was actually my grandmother and my mother was asking them, are they gonna lock my son up? And he was like, nah, we're not gonna lock him up. Can y'all come get him? We like, we all the way in Harlem. They was like, well, do he know how to take the subway? Because that's the only way he can get back. So he's like, yeah, he's familiar with the train. He knows this train system very well. So I said, yeah, I know how to get back on the train. He said, do you have any money? I said, nah, I don't got no money on me. So he gave me like, the security guard gave me like a $20 bill, and they walked me to the train and put me on the train, and I came home. And like, that's the last time I probably seen my pops for a long ass stretch. But before they gave me the money on that, they caught my pops and brung him in the back room. And they was like, um, they brung him to the back, they caught him, they brung him to the back, and they said, yo, um, how you gonna do this to your son? How you gonna bring your son to the store to steal? And he was like, I don't know that little boy. He's lying on me. He said, yo, and look at the camera, man. Yo, you know what, man? You ain't even worth like enough. Yo, you get the fuck out. How could you even do this in front of your son? So they kicked him out the store, and that's when they called my grandmother and my mom's, and that's when that transaction happened with the $20 and shit. And I got home, and like, that shit really had me looking at my pops different, because I was like, damn, this shit got him out here fucked up to where he would put his son in a situation like this. I love my pops and all that, but it was just like, yo, damn. That's why I wasn't never a nigga that was big on selling no crack or nothing. I wasn't big on that. I ain't want to be a drug dealer. But until next time, tune in. I just want to give y'all a glimpse of my life this episode 17, the Reagan era. And till next time, roll something, smoke something, like something, share something, like the button, hit the subscribe button. I hope y'all enjoyed this series so far. I'm gonna keep bringing you raw content, being in depth with some fire shit. But until next time, roll something, smoke something, like something, share something. It's your boy Unkasa. True hip hop stories. Y'all already know what it is, man. Thank y'all. Love y'all. Let's run these subscribers up to 10 bands. Let's go up to 10K by next week. Shout out to all the people that's sending me merch, Socially Rich. Shout out. And I'm out.